Welcome back, all you Loki lovers, for episode 5, the penultimate episode of the Loki Disney Plus series. It's almost here. The finale is almost upon us. We've almost reached the end, and boy howdy does this episode just do like about 3 episodes worth in 40 minutes.
Quite impressive.
We're really just bouncing all over the place, huh? Oh, if you haven't seen already, like all the other Loki review episodes, spoilers the whole way through. It's less than a movie length. Go watch it. Go watch it.
Pretty good.
Come back afterwards. Camden, put your family's account information in the bottom so that way everyone can use the Disney Plus program of your family, so that way they can all watch it before they watch the episode, so nothing's spoiled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's just jump into it. He's at the end of time, Loki, our boy Loki.
Mm-hmm.
And Jackson,
and he's being chased by a cloud dog. The cloud dog's gonna eat him and kill him, but an old guy and a kid and also an alligator are there just to help him.
Who are they, Jackson? Who are they?
I don't know their name. Like the actors, they're just some obscure actors.
Like what are they? Like what makes them different? What makes it be like, oh, bump, bump, bump?
Oh, I got this. They're Loki. I think they're Lokis.
They're Lokis, Jackson.
They're Lokis. I can't
remember. There was a
test. They kind of glossed over that when they were like, "Hey, we're you," and then literally all Lokis were throughout the episode.
Yeah,
but I kind of forgot. I think they were Lokis.
I think it's interesting how, like, although there's variants that end up at the end of time, it was almost exclusively Lokis. Raises the question, why are mainly Lokis getting erased?
They're bad. They're silly.
Well, no, it's Lokis are mainly surviving in comparison to other people.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like we'd see at least 1 or 2 other variants of people in the MCU that would survive this as well.
I mean, Throg was there.
Throg was there.
Was Throg alive?
But I think it's just because he... Yeah, Throg
was alive. He was hopping around, yeah. Little
Fun
frog
fact,
dude.
he was actually voiced by Chris Hemsworth in the episode. The little noises were Chris Hemsworth. He voiced the frog guy, Throg. So that was fun. A lot of Easter eggs in this episode, too.
I didn't see very many eggs. And Easter was 4 months ago. So.
A lot of references then, you literal sack of shit. I hate you, Jackson. A lot of references to other stuff then.
Oh, right, yeah. Like the Thanos copter.
The Thanos, that was there.
Copter. That was there.
Dope.
That was the only reference I actually recognized. Everything else I had to see later on an Instagram post.
That's typically how it is. Instagram is the best source of information. You heard it here, folks. Don't question anything else. Just listen to Instagram.
You heard it here, folks.
I think
folks,
you said folks.
First, same thing. Really, it's just a speech impediment at this point. Camden, you notice any other Easter eggs?
Probably. I can't think of one right now.
Yeah, there was the Avengers building and also the Sanctum Sanctorum and the helicarriers and Red Skull's carrying ship and also Ronan's ship and also the head of Yellow Jacket and also the head of the Living Tribunal and then other stuff.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Easter eggs. You could probably fill a basket with those.
Easter Bunny, eat your heart out. This whole episode's beat you to the punch. We also get to see what we all thought was going to be just our Loki that we saw in the trailer like 6 months ago. President Loki is just an evil Loki.
I mean, most of the Lokis we saw were in and of themselves evil.
Yes, most of them were evil.
We only got to see a couple of them that helped our Loki. And that is because in their realities, they have had time to reflect on their actions. Which is what our Loki is currently doing.
Yeah. We had a bit of a Avengers Endgame when all the Lokis were fighting about who was going to be in charge. He did like the whole, oh, I'm so embarrassed of my past self. Like Hulk did when he saw the 2012 version of the Hulk punching up a car. Mm-hmm. Like he's like, oh boy, these people, huh? The funny thing is, they're all him. He is these people.
They're all the one and the same.
We keep the Star Wars trend up. Loki, President Loki, not our Loki, loses a hand.
To an alligator.
To an alligator.
The alligator Loki.
Which I thought was funny.
That was very funny.
The
fact that there was an alligator Loki.
Yeah. And how every other version of Loki besides Kid Loki and Classic Loki were like, What? Why is there an alligator? Like, no one sees him as a Loki except for the other two.
They're like, he's a
They're
Loki, bro. Calm down.
I felt a little. When I first watched it, I felt a little cheated. Like when I saw the Lokis all fighting each other, I was like, oh man, I wish that was like. I wish we had more of like a conversation between that. But then I thought about it for a second. I was like, no, this is probably exactly how a bunch of egotistical maniacs would try to resolve an issue.
Yeah.
And just kill each other. So, thumbs up, Marvel.
Great work, Marvel.
They know what they about.
Jackson, you mentioned this earlier. Our boy Mobius ain't gone yet. He ain't bite the dust yet.
Pretty sure that was Camden.
What?
Camden.
That was me?
I think so.
You two are the same person.
Talk about the resemblances, please.
Mustache? You say wow all the time?
I think I just look more like Lightning McQueen.
True. Camden does have a very car-like physique.
You're getting me confused with my twin brother, Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. It's crazy how you guys look so similar. It's like we are always recording with Lightning McQueen in the recording booth with us.
He's pretty big.
Big car.
Big famous
we also go back to the TVA
where Sylvie has apprehended what's her name again?
Renslayer,
that's it. Renslayer double crosses Sylvie, and Sylvie ends up pruning herself because she knows that where people go when they're pruned.
Now, we often do this when we do the episode. I'm going to throw this out here. Let's see how the council debates this. Miss Minutes was a little odd about looking for information. Like in the beginning, it was like, oh yeah, we're playing the game. We're just waiting for troops to show up. But then when Renslayer was like, yeah, so tell me everything about the beginning of time, and also let's see if we do have that ship to go to the end of time and stuff like that. Miss Minutes was like, okay, I'll keep looking. But
I'm telling you, Miss Minutes is the main villain.
I really hope so. I think that would be like the coolest route that they could go within the realms of the show, at least from what we've seen. I think like out of all the current villains and like theories, I think she's just like the coolest because like I want to know her story because all we know is that she's like a computer program, but like is it like actually
but it's alive
controlling that? Is she sentient and then made a computer program of herself to like help people? I don't know.
If she isn't the villain herself, whoever created her is the villain 100%.
Yeah, this is definitely like
this is a Miss Minutes.
Working together.
I predicted it on episode 2 and I'm sticking through it.
Jackson did call it.
I never thought it would be true. I didn't think that they would go that route, but it kind of looks like it, right?
Yeah, but at least one of those two things. Either Miss Minutes is actually the main antagonist. I'm not expecting that at all, so that would subvert my expectations. But or like immediately working in direct connection to this main antagonist. And also when like all the Lokis were talking about, whenever we tried to do something good or whenever we decided to save something else besides ourselves, we were taken out of the timeline as well. Which begs the question, maybe not Kang, maybe more so or less another evil Loki variant.
Yeah, that's kind of what it seems like to me. I think that's the direction it's gonna go, because who else would be like specifically
targeting Lokis?
So Loki, yeah. Like I don't know.
Maybe
that's just me though.
Yeah, maybe they'll take a pull from like Kang, and he's like trying to make the perfect like where he ends up being the ruler of everything. So and he like any second he knows that he's making the wrong choice to pull him away from this version of him winning. He like blips that version out. So that's why when Kid Loki kills Thor, he's like, no, Thor's got to be alive in order for me to rule everything. So let's take that one out. Things like that.
You know what hasn't made sense to me across these like most recent episodes? Whatever happened to the like giant Nexus event that Sylvie caused when she, blew up a ton of other realities? Remember when she made all those splits on the main timeline? Like, what happened to that?
That's a great point.
Nothing happened. I think it's kind of assumed that in between, like, from when they were captured and, like, when they weren't, like, the TVA kind of just fixed that,
Like, when they were on the planet? Stranded?
Yeah, like, that whole episode of just, like, them vibing, like, I'm pretty sure that
was, like, their basic
fixed it.
Yeah.
I guess. It just seemed like, a lot for them to go out and do, and
I was so excited to see what she did.
I thought we were going right into it, but... Yeah. But it hasn't been disappointing, which is the weird part. Because, like...
No, but I feel like reflecting on it, it feels like there's a lot that... It should be longer. There should be more episodes.
Yeah, a lot that could have been. and a lot that we still haven't seen. Like, we expected...
I don't even know if it's intentional that we haven't seen it. I think that they just kind of brushed it off, you know? Like, it's not like we're waiting on a mystery. Like, no, they just kind of are done with it.
Yeah, kind of thing.
I mean, and with this episode last week, we were, like, wanting it to be, you know, they could go in any direction. And they kind of just, once again, just kept it stuck to Loki's. The only other character we saw was Throg.
Or Mobius, like, when they showed up.
But, like, I'm saying outside of the series. Any character that, like, there were no, like, you know, random cameos from random superheroes trying to fight the Thing. It was just Loki. So,
and that's why I'm kind of hoping this antagonist is not someone we've already seen. Like, maybe it is Kang or someone along those lines of, like, oh yeah, I work for Kang, just so we have another character, and it's not another Agatha or like the Flag Smashers.
Yeah. Just but at the end of the day, Danan, the series is called Loki, so that would be funny if both the main character and the villain were Loki.
Yeah, that would be so funny.
I saw a theory that I liked.
Well, share it.
Well, I'd love to, Danan. So you know how old guy Loki man sacrifices himself?
He does die.
People think that he projected himself during that sacrifice, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, that was a projection creating the other projections, but, like, it was all just one big projection. And people think that because, and it's very random, but earlier in the episode when he was mentioning things that, like, Lokis can take the form of to hide, he mentioned floating debris in space. And then when they did that big wide shot of the castle, there was, like, a small, like, piece of, like, one piece of floating debris flying around. So people think that he tried to lure Loki and Sylvie to the castle, and he's called He Who Remains, I think is what he's called in the comics, which is also just like a really old Loki.
Yeah,
so people think
God
that
King Loki.
He's trying to like lure them in so he can take them out so they don't take down what he's done.
Yeah, but then that would also just completely negate the cool scene and sacrifice that we got last episode.
But that's kind of cool.
It'd be a twist, though.
It would be a twist, but I mean, like, it was cool. Yeah, but it was interesting. It was weird seeing, like, such, like, a really good actor wearing, like, the most ridiculous costume and then still having, like, a really great scene at the end. Like, he's crying as he's, like, making Asgard again and he dies and you're just like, wait, was that? No.
There's so much character growth in one episode. It's like he had a full story, start and end. Like, it's crazy.
Like, holy crap, you did more with this character than we've been able to do with the Winter Soldier in over 10 years. How'd you do it?
But the main selling point is, like, for that theory, is that he doesn't go with Mobius when he's like, do you want to leave? Mm-hmm. And they're like, nah. Like, what? Yeah. Why would you want to? They clearly have just been hiding forever. Like, even if that's their new life and that's what they've grown accustomed to, you would not stay there.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, it's probably also dangerous for them to go back to the TVA, so...
Well, the thing the thing I thought they were doing was when Mobius is like, I'm going to burn it to the ground. I thought he was just going to take a bunch of Loki variants with him.
That would have been so
like, wouldn't
cool.
that just create more chaos? Like, what's stopping them from just going and Mobius is like, I'm here to destroy everything, and then just prune him again, and he just has to keep trying to blow up the TVA. Like, this is not a one-person job, Mobius.
No, he's going to walk in there and be like, guys, everything's fake. And he's going to be silenced because he's one guy.
Yeah, one guy in a literal cult. Also, we called this episode 1. TVA is a cult.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, full all the way. Glad we got to see it in full effect, finally.
We actually failed to touch on probably an important point of the episode. Sylvie was able to enchant the giant kill monster.
Yeah. No, not just Sylvie.
Sylvie and Loki. Too. Because the power of belief is stronger than anything.
Because any Loki can do any power, apparently. They just have to believe.
Well, that's the thing I don't get. Because we haven't really seen Loki do anything super crazy magical when he can do crazy magical things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Although
excited.
That one part where he just like picked up the tower with his mind during the apocalypse, I was like, he can do that?
We did just gloss over that, and that has not been.
He just kind of like lifted a building with his mind, and I was like, how did he do that?
I shared this idea.
Like, it almost makes me feel like he's he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
So here's what I think. You know how he's seen his death already, and he's like, oh, we all died of Thanos. You know, it's whatever. But he's also learned from classic Loki that, hey, you can do like magic that you didn't know previously could do. I feel like in the time between now and between his death, he's going to practice his magic to the point where he can make... Because that's what classic Loki did, is he made a projection that fooled even Thanos. I'm thinking this Loki will practice his magic to the extent where he can do that as well, with the knowledge he's gained from this situation. I think that would be funny. And then they're just like, hey, I'm alive, guys. Thanos never actually killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think they would even need to do that if in the end of the finale they just blow up like the rule of having one timeline. And we talked about this in our latest episode of Roomies Talking Movies, available where all amazing podcasts are. Shameless plug. See how seamlessly I did that. We talk about what if. And what if, dare I say, that show is actually canon in the MCU. Like it shows you multiple parallel universes that happened because of the end of Loki. Like whatever happened.
It makes so much sense because it's coming out next, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense for that to happen.
But I guess it all remains to be seen. Gentlemen, as we do every week, what is our prediction that might spoil the entire episode just off of blind guessing as we go into the finale? What do you guys think is going to happen?
They're going to go into the castle and Miss Minutes is going to be there. And she's going to not be a projection. She's just going to be a real clock with like super strength and kill everyone.
That's
good. Bold stance. I like it. Camden, what's rattling in your brain?
I think it's just going to be a Loki variant. I don't know whether it's going to be like the one we already saw or a completely new one. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be a Loki variant.
Mm-hmm. I think this might be the biggest one. I think this might be the longest episode we get in the whole season.
I hope so.
Good prediction.
It's a safe prediction. Jackson, why don't you go ahead and tell our lovely listeners where they can find us?
On the internet, a lot of places actually. Yep. You can find us on
just look us up
on YouTube at Camden Powell. That's probably where you're watching this. But for our podcast, Roomies Talking Movies, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, or anywhere else you find your podcasts.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you look up Roomies Talkin Movies on Google, we are every result on the first page except for the last one. So, you'll find us somewhere.
That's good work on our part. Look at that.
Yeah, for real.
We definitely didn't pay off Google to do that.
We didn't spend $20,000 to get the whole first search page. Worth it though. We'll see you all next week, and if you haven't, why aren't you checking out me and Camden talking about The Bad Batch?
Yeah,
it's great.
Check it out.
Jackson would have joined us, but it's just Star Wars.
Like Star Wars because he's a coward.
No, it's not that he doesn't like Star Wars. It's that we're jumping in the middle. It's like a middle series that only affects Star Wars fans.
Well, no. The reason I don't watch it is because they could have called it The Bad Bitch, and they didn't.
Camden, this is true. Jackson has said this multiple times to us. What if we get Lucasfilms to change it to Bad Bitch?
I would watch it.
All right.
I would review it.
They have to change the dialogue, Jackson?
Nah, it'll just be like, hey, we're the bad bitch, and then they start dancing. It'll be really cool.
Oh, they just dance.
Camden, we got our work cut out for us. We'll see you all next week when we review the Loki series finale, unless they announce a season 2, but I'm pretty sure this is a one-off like WandaVision. If you haven't already, go check all of our other reviews for Loki. Catch yourself up before the finale. And as always, we will see you all in the next video. Take care.
Peace.
See ya.